Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast pigeon of peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description for the details. Let's talk about competence, and let's start with the definition.
Competence is ability to do something better than average. And for example, competence could be measured for surgeon, for a plane pilot, for someone who is making dramaturgy. And we expect that people on the higher position would have the higher competence. When I was working in Germany, I found that it is going always to be true. The higher the person in hierarchy, the more competency it has. So if you are going to the boss, you could rely that he will give you an answer almost to each question, or he will ask you to go with him to his boss of his boss. When I was working in Japan, it was vice versa. Everyone was trying to find the way by himself because was not polite to distract other people from more important job. If the person stand on above you, then his or her time is more available. So never ask someone higher than you without any emergency.
And let's say we do want to maybe, be more efficient or get things done or maybe develop something. At a certain point of time, we need to assess ourselves or maybe ask someone, so what should be the used as the benchmark in order to know what is our scale, what is our rank, like where we are, what kind of place we're taking in this landscape of being competent or completely not.
I give you a story. I was invited to give a speech on the Las Vegas conference about harmful computer programs. And in this invitation, it was something like this. You are invited as a usual member of the computer protective security, something like this. But if you will become a greater speaker and a lot of people will vote for you, you will get for next conference invitation and you will be placed from all over the USA, from any point of USA by the private jet. And I was thinking, okay, it's nice try. Who will disturb me? Maybe I'll be the best speaker. But now you know my English, and it was almost the same like 30 years ago. So I was thinking how to start this, and I was starting my lecture, and I have been doing this like 5 times per my life. I started something like this. Okay, guys, I know a lot of harmful malware, ransomware, encryptionware, but there are not many English in my accent, but maybe you will find some useful thoughts despite of my bad pronunciation. And everyone was applauding, and I prepared a lot of different cartoons and something like this. So I will using everything I know from McKinsey company, and it was for me like best presentation ever. But after me, there were some people from America, Canada, Mexico, and they were going with such a good English, and I was so afraid not to be the best. But suddenly I became, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, come on, it's not true. It was a clown. It's not a scientist, true scientist." But anyway, the next time I was flying by private jet.
Well, I think this is a good example of being competent. So let's say we already defined, like things that we want to do, work on our competences. And yes, we already, like touch the water and see like how exactly, we should look like. So what should be the plan or maybe, like action points or maybe behavior in order to move towards being more competent in what we want to do?
When I was writing my first Hackers editor, its name was Head. I was so proud that I create a product which has no competitors. By the way, it was like 2 weeks ago, Microsoft issued also Microsoft Editor, and they were trying to say that it is the smallest editor ever, but it has the size 250 kilobytes, but mine was 56. So mine was almost 5 times slimmer. But anyway, I found that, okay, I have maybe some good thoughts, but maybe 90% of the best guesses were made by users, by people just around the streets. And it was very hard for me to realize that I have no good ideas. But then I found that maybe it's also competence to accept other people help and to acknowledge that they could be wise. You know, when you work in the company, even small company like 10 to 50 people, you will be surrounded by supporters, and they all will say, "Oh, come on, Maxim, you're great colleague, and you may be great worker." It's okay to say worker, or for office people, it's never used.
Worker or colleague, to make it more
Colleague, yes,
equal.
colleague, maybe colleague is better. Yes, but if you suddenly will go to a company of the larger scale like 10 times or maybe 100 times more, you will find that those people much more well qualified. By the way, one of our students, Yakov Shmarin, now is going to transfer from one company to another, and the size bigger 10 times. And I warned him, and I was saying that it would be not enough what he knows, and he should read some books and something like this to be prepared, because his competence, you know, I don't know how to say, okay, you could be a very powerful pill and you will be put in 1 liter of the water and you will dissolve them. It would be one kind of concentration. But if you're going to a huge company, you will be the same pill, but you will be put it like in Olympic swimming pool, and the density of your competence will be much less.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. The proportion of dissolving is actually, yeah, quite different. And vice versa, when we speak about, like, let's say we do show some markers of being competent, sometimes we also might be meeting people or facing people, or maybe even, like contesting with the people who actually not quite competent. And for whatever position they take, it might be more powerful. Maybe, like it's administratively higher, maybe, like it's relationship, or maybe even in the society, it's like quite higher. So what should the competent person do when they actually trying to make a point with someone who is not using who's using not so competent mechanics?
I have a story for you. It was like 4 years ago. I built a dentistry for my wife, and to open it and to run it, to operate, I need to get a license. It's okay to say license, лицензия,
Yes,
license.
license.
Because I was afraid, because license, like driver license and medical license, it's the same word, yes?
Exactly the same.
Thank you. Okay. So I was trying to make it by myself. I am not magician guy, so I am not a doctor, and it was maybe hard. But anyway, it was appointed day, and I start to meet the commission, which will check everything we have. And you know, it was quite sweetful, yet потел. It's okay to say it was a sweetful day.
Yeah, I got a lot of sweat came out.
I got a lot of sweat while we were checking all these medical issues, like engines, like drills, like all of those equipment. And the last part I was not afraid of. It was about IT and technologies, but suddenly it became for me hardest. You know, it was an old lady, and he was trying to ask me, okay, what is your server? And I was showing her server, and suddenly he was saying, no, server should be attached to the X-ray machine. And I was saying, yes, okay, we have it. But in my opinion, it's monoblock. And he was saying, no, it's not a server. And suddenly she pointed on the notebook, and she was saying, this is a server. How dare you not to know? And at this point, I was thinking what to answer. I'm IT guy. I have my first education is red diploma, and I have PhD degree, and I'm specialized in artificial intelligence. How I could mix a monoblock and notebook and server? But at this point, I was thinking, okay, maybe it's my time to carry the cross, not to say the truth, because if I would be right, I could not get the license.
Well, yeah, sometimes competence is actually not acknowledging your incompetence. And if we look into the dark areas, like, or maybe black or fog of war areas, because sometimes there's might be things that we would never think we will need, but at a certain point of time, we'll need them. So how competent person, or at least competent wannabe person, could define those areas and make an action plan in order to acquire them, so that they would prepare for the things in advance?
There is a lot of different saying in different languages, but if you talk about doctors, there is a saying which is very sad for me, and I'm afraid of it. But anyway, I will try to pronounce. Every doctor or every surgeon, particularly, has his own graveyard. It's okay to say?
Or cemetery.
Or cemetery. Yes, okay, cemetery. It's much better. And you know, it's so hard to understand that during your career, like 30, 40, or 50 years, some people will die about your mistake and you will be covered by colleagues. And it was like 2 years ago in the Russia, especially, it was rising the question in the high cabinets. Is it okay that our doctors is under the pressure? And if you are a doctor, you are under special eye and you will be investigated very hardly and badly, and then you will lose your career. And there was unexpectedly for me смягчение. I don't know how to say.
Softness.
Softening.
Softening.
But suddenly our government show us some softening, and now it's gone away, and now doctors not under the pressure, and they will be punished after the doctor's mistake. And from one point of view, okay, I am not to want to be a doctor with cemetery, but from another, if all doctors would be under the pressure, sometimes they will say, I would not cure this person. I wouldn't. It's okay to say cure, лечить.
Cure, yes.
I wouldn't cure this person because if something happen, I would be answering for it, and I don't know is it right or not. Or for example, the same with ambulance. For example, in some countries, you will be rejected to go to the hospital because people will say we have a chance that person will die in our car, so better it or he or she will die in his own flat. We will not carry this responsibility. And you know, it's quite hard to accept.
Well, yeah. Speaking about morality, or maybe even professional morality and the second order consequences. And then my last question will be how knowing about
Morality.
competence could help to make this world a better place.
Sorry for disturbing you. When we talk about competence, we should understand that if we have education, if we have experience, we can do our best to serve people and we hope for the return favor. But sometimes we will meet people which has no intention to be honest, to be competence, to have competence, and to do everything right. For example, sometime we will meet fraudsters, we will meet smugglers, we will meet some other people. You know, several days ago, I have been to sauna with friends of mine and you also, and we were very sad that you are not with us. But it was a story from one of our pupil. He was saying that there is like an epidemic time, and a lot of people who came to get the job, they will pass the interview with help of DeepSeek, and then they work with DeepSeek. And even if they will be asked to write a report, they also will ask DeepSeek. DeepSeek is a Chinese artificial intelligence model, and you know it's not a joke. It's quite dangerous situation because people are going to resign from thinking.
Well, yeah, they also could be fired with a DeepSeek at a certain point of time. And we reviewed the skill of competence and how it could be helpful to you. Stay in peace.